Hello friends, welcome to our website etltestingtutorial.com. We have already covered what all are the SQL concepts and what all are the data warehousing concepts, and the most importantly the database as Oracle, as well as the Informatica tool, that is the tool which I was using for the ETL implementation. Now the new topic that I am going to cover today is about SSIS. Okay, so SSIS itself is a product of the SQL Server, that is from the Microsoft we get this product, and the full form for that is SQL Server Integration Services. So what all are the integration services? Integration services within Informatica. If I discuss within Informatica, it was working with the database. If I discuss about this with the Informatica, within that how we can connect with the that particular source tables or the source places, flat files, which all we'll use, and then we'll make a single output file out of the complete or the set of multiple source files. Right, so integration itself means to collect, to make a single file output from the multiple sources file. Right, so with the SQL Server, that means it is a product of Microsoft, as well as it works on the SQL Server database. If you look at here, I have written it is a platform and it's installed on the SQL Server. It's additional feature of the SQL Server, and it works for the DBAs. DBAs means database administrators, that how one can handle the data, and then the developer who is developing on the variety of different collection of data, and the data analyst make sure that analysis is the best way to work inside the any of the collected data. Analyst means to check how the data is flowing. Analyst means how the data is we can manage the data with the variety of the sources that we have, and how we can make a single output file out of the source file. Right, so analysis is the most important thing that is even provided with the within the SSIS. Okay, and the one more very important thing, it works like previously we have DTS, that is data transformation services. This SSIS works as the higher version of DTS. I'll not say the DTS is directly linked with SSIS or DTS. SSIS works on the DTS platform, but I'll say that SSIS is a way to implement DTS. That is how we can transform the data, the variety of services that we had. Okay, so within SSIS, we have multiple keywords. The features that are present inside that is, these all are the key features for that. Look at this image. We have a package, we have a product. Within package, we have the control flow, we have the containers, we have the task, we have the data flow task, we have the sources. See, somewhere it's similar to Informatica. Like within Informatica, we have designer. Within Informatica, we have the wizard to work inside that. We have the manager, that is the workflow manager. Right, so integration services we do have. If our integration services are down within Informatica, we can't execute that particular that mapping, that flow, workflow will not work if the integration services is not present. Mapping means to create the design for that flow of the data. Okay, and this is the extension of the file in which it will come. And within package we have task. About each and every of these things we'll discuss in the further slides. And we have the data sources. Log providers means how the task is flowing, at what time, which one of the source file is being called, which all are the changes that are being done on to get the that particular end data, the source, the destination that we need. That means the transformations, at what time it's being performed. The task means how the like what will be the flow of the data, what will be the flow of, like we have the data flow task, we have the SQL command, we have the complete SQL command line for that, we have the OLEDB commands for that. So how the tasks are being linked, that is being done, like how we can configure that particular task. The applications we have the connection managers. Like let's say if our source data is the SQL table, So in that case, our connection manager will be OLEDB. That means the database that we need is that particular connection that we'll made, or we can also connect with SQL Server, right? So this is how our connections managers work to make a connection, how the data will flow. Okay, and in this data flow task, we have the source files, we have the transformations if we need, or if we may don't have this, if we don't need that, and in the end we'll have the destination. So this is the complete architecture. So let's discuss in more detail about these particular keywords, the key files that we have within SSIS architecture. Right. So let's start with the project. So what is SSIS project? SSIS project comes with the parameters. It comes with the packages. So parameter means how we can make it, how we can make our project to run that at like runtime execution we do have, like which all source files we need. We can implement what will be the path for that. That comes under the parameters we'll set. I can set a parameter or a variable with the help of which I can see how many records are being passed from source to destination. That again comes under the parameters. Okay, and then packages means a collection. Again, if you look at this SSIS package is the container. That project is a container for parameter and packages, and SSIS package is a collection of the task flow, or it's a collection of the deployment, how the uh, all set of all tasks, all the collection of tasks are being present inside that. Okay, so within control flow we have the it's the brain of the complete package. Okay, so if you look at this how the hierarchy is present inside that, at the top level we have the project. Under project we have the package, under package we have the control flow, and under control flow what we'll have how we want to execute the components that will come inside the control flow. So what all will be the components we'll see now. Okay, the sources, the transformations, and the task, what all are present inside that we'll look now. Okay, so within task, what we'll have? See, task is the one unit of work, right? It's individual units. It's not unit, it's unit. Okay, so within task, within control flow, we have the task, and within tasks, we'll have the complete data flow. Like within control flow, we have task, and within task, we have the data flow. Data flow is again the heart of the package. Okay, so for the control flow, it works like the brain, and data flow will work like the heart. So what is the functionality of heart and brain? It's a similar way we have the functionality for the control flow and the data flow. So data flow will come with uh, the main reason of working inside SSIS is the implementing the ETL, right? So data flow um, will have that power to implement the ETL process. So within data flow we'll have the sources, we'll have the transformations if we need, and we have the destination. And the purpose of working with the sources with the transformation is similar to the purpose of working inside the source, transformation, and destination within the Informatica. Source means on from which file I want to fetch the data. Transformation means what all changes I do need according to the business requirement. And the destination means how the data will flow and where the data will flow, where we'll store the data in the end. Okay. And in the end we'll discuss about the variables. So what all are the variables? It's a kind of way to pass the expression at the runtime, like the thing that I said, like every time we'll change how many records are being passed from source to target on the basis of different conditions. We may get the different answers for that. So that thing we can store inside the variable. At the first execution, 10 records were able to pass on to the destination table. In the second execution, we'll get the 8 number of records. So this is how variables we'll store. Okay, so now what about parameters? See, variable will work at each and every tasks that we have. Like within tasks we have the data flow. Within data flow we have the source. So at the source or at the destination we can implement the variables according to that particular source file or the destination file. Now the parameters are also like the variables. Parameters are also like the variables, only the difference is within parameters will work at the package level, that parameters, and the variable will work at the data flow level, that is the lower level. And the parameters will be set outside the package also, not only at the package. So I can say that parameters work at the project level, right? And yeah, very important thing, from 2012 version of SQL Server only, these all properties are present inside the SSIS. Previously we don't have. So now see, this is how SSIS data tool looks like. I'll also show you on my machine, but if you look at this, this is the data flow task and this is the control flow task. Like within control flow, if you remember, I was saying within control flow we have the data flow task, and this is how it's coming. Okay, and then we have the parameters, we have the events, we have the packages. If we have multiple packages, this is the location where we'll see the list of all of the packages, the list of all of the source files that we are getting. Okay, and this is the panel where we'll design our complete control flow. And this is the list of all of the connections that we'll have the connection with flat file or with the OLEDB database, which all files we'll able to see that here only, right? And then we'll have the toolbox and the variable box, that is the properties panel. So this is how the SQL Server data tool, that is SSIS data tool, will look like. This is for the version that I'm using is 2015. I'll show you how to download that. And the next thing, before SSIS, or if I want to work without SSIS, how we can work. So in short, SSIS is going to work for the ETL process, right? We'll extract the data, then we'll transform, then we'll load the data. Now the thing is, if we don't have SSIS, can we transform, or can we change the data, or can we upload the data? Change means adding this some transformations, few records it if I want to filter. How can we do that? So within SQL Server we have this import and export wizard. If you look at, right, so this is how it will come. It is the easiest way to move the data. And it also, if you go on to this step next and select the source file and the destination file, it will ask you, do you want to save it as an SSIS framework or not? And as well as we can also save the package for that. Okay, so this is how the import and export. Import means I want to add the data from the external source file. Export means to upload the data to the any external file. These all steps I'll show you when we'll in the next session, when I'll work on the download and installation of the SQL Server. So these all are the different versions that we have. Not only the different versions, but also the different levels of execution that we'll have. Like we have enterprise, standard, express, developer. In the previous session, in the first module number 3, 4 and 5, I was working with the express edition. So in the current session, or for the SSIS, I'll work on the developer edition. So what is the differences between express, developer? You must know, like what all are the cloud space it will provide us. For the express we'll get the 10 GB of data, and for the developer edition we'll get it's a completely build, test and demonstrate application. Right, so that is comes with all of the features. It comes with the features of integration, it comes with the features of the reporting, all of these features are being present within the developer edition, right? And this is for the 2017. You can work on any of the version, any of the edition level, but make sure that for SSIS we'll work on the developer edition. And one more very important thing, the SSIS that I am going to use is mainly works with the SQL Server as the data source, or the SQL Server as the data destination. Right, why I'm saying source or destination? Source or destination means If I am using SQL Server as a source file, the destination can be flat file or the text file or the itself SQL Server as well. Or if I'm working with the destination, like the source file can be a flat file, Excel file, XML file, CSV file, and the destination file can be the SQL Server. So SSIS mainly works with the with the SQL Server, and the version that I'm going to use is 2017 with the developer edition. Okay.